Okay, this is our second video. In this video, I will be talking about your mylabsplus. And first of all, you need to pull up your mylabsplus handout that I sent you. Before you get started in your course, be sure you have a Blackboard web address, your Blackboard login name and password, the access codes you purchased from the bookstore with your textbook, and you can also purchase online. You can go through mylabsplus to do that. If you have, you can go to the mylabsplus website and actually get one online, and then go back through Blackboard. If you are having issues logging in, okay, this is important because there are only a few people on campus that are given administrator rights to mylabsplus, and that is these two people right here, Dr. Muhammad Gabadi and Dr. Jared Marshall. So if you have a problem logging on to anything, to mylabsplus, you need to send them an email, gmarshall@tctc.edu and mgabadi@tctc.edu, and they will try to get the problem fixed. You also need to use Mozilla Firefox or Safari. Now, they have said Firefox, not Google Chrome. Now, it says Google Chrome, but now it's Firefox. Firefox for your regular PCs, and for your Macs, I think y'all have Safari. Use that. And then get started. Go to your school's Blackboard site and log in with your username and password. So you go to your Blackboard, log in, and then once you log in, click on your Blackboard course and then click on mylabsplus Bridge. This will take you into your mylabsplus course. Click on an assignment or learning aid link. Within the course, you will first be prompted with a license agreement. Click I accept, and you will be prompted to enter your access code, or it will ask you to purchase it online. And you might be a few dollars cheaper if you do it online. To enter your access code, select the access code option, enter your code that came with your text. If you do it online, it'll go ahead and send you through the process and you won't have to punch it in. There it is. Select buy now and click the product, blah, blah, blah. Once you have successfully entered your access code, you can continue working. If you're waiting on financial aid and cannot purchase mylabsplus within the first week, select the temporary access and the home tab, and temporary code will be immediately returned, and then you can work on whatever you need to work on. So there should be no excuses unless y'all are not following those directions. I have so many students that just don't know how to read simple directions sometimes. But anyway, and they're showing you the temporary access. Technical support. You will find several you can go to technical support, you can find a number to call if you need to, but most of your login problems can be taken care of with those two email addresses, Dr. Gobadi and Dr. Marshall. Now, once you get into mylabsplus, we'll go ahead and pull it up, and that way you can see what it looks like and what we're going to be doing. And I didn't pull it up, so you're just going to have to bear with me. And I'll go into 120 or I don't know which one I'm going to go into. It doesn't matter because we're just going to look at everything as generic as possible. Because everything I go over today is going to be, in this video, I go over with the other classes in class. So this is I'll just pick 120, and we will go through and do it. Since I used 102 in the last video, I'm going to use 120 in this video. This is a calendar. You can put your dates here. There are some tentative dates here. I'm going to probably end up taking those off because I will, as I told you in the last video, most of my homework cuts off when the test starts. So for some of y'all, don't spaz when you see these, because I know some of y'all are. Don't spaz. But let's go to the homework, because what I really want to get to is how to use the homework. And I'm going to just pull up one of the homeworks, and I'm just going to look at some of these problems and show you how to use the homework. Okay, well, just do what I want you to do. No, stay on page. Okay. Now, the reason I want to show you this homework is because I want to show you several things over here that will help you get through your hump when you're doing homework online, or when you're doing homework at home, or everybody in here has had that homework problem that you can't get over, or you can't get past, and you can't finish the last 4 or 5 problems of homework because you can't get past that one. I call it a hump. You call it a hill, whatever you want to call it. These buttons over here, or links, they are to help you get over that hump. They are not to replace the teacher unless you are in an online setting or an independent study setting or environment to where you do not have a teacher. And if you do, well, you have a teacher in an online setting, but it's not as accessible as a classroom setting. In the classroom, I go over all the questions that the people send to me, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Help me solve this is a guided tutorial. A guided tutorial, think of a tutoring lab, and there's 2 types of tutors in that tutoring lab. The first type of tutor is a tutor that says, okay, we're going to take x plus 4 equals 6, and we're going to solve that. Now, let me ask you a question, Mr. Student. If I wanted to get rid of a minus 4, how do I get rid of a minus 4? Student goes, well, you add 4 on both sides. Yes, you add 4 on both sides. So we're going to add 4 on both sides, so now we have x is equal to whatever. The whole point of that little scenario was to show you what a guided tutorial is. A guided tutor or a guided tutorial is where you are asked questions as you are doing steps through the problem. Versus a regular tutorial where, okay, take x minus 4 is equal to 12, you add 4 on both sides, you get x is equal to 16, you're done. All right, that is just a straightforward tutorial, sequential tutorial. People like the different tutorials. The guided tutorial that asks you questions during the explanation is to help me solve this. Help me solve this will ask you questions during the explanation. Okay, some people like that, some people don't like that. The best time to use help me solve this is when you are new to the material. Let's say you've never done probability before, never, ever. Then you would use this a lot more than the person that took probability in high school. The person that took probability in high school would probably use this one because they've already seen the material. They just need to be refreshed on it. And they don't want to take the time to answer a bunch of questions while they're being taught how to do the problem. So that's the difference between these two. Video and animation, that's for your visual learners, okay, and auditory learners. Those people that just like to see it being done, and we'll go ahead and take a look at each one. I'm just going to go ahead and click on the help me solve this, and you'll see that it goes through, and you hit continue, and it'll ask you to do this, and then it'll ask you to put in an answer. And of course, I don't have a way to put in an answer, so I'll punch in an answer. There's an answer, and hit check answer, and it'll say you're a loser, you don't know what you're doing, get out of school, quit school. No, it won't say that, but I would like to program answers in there. That would be fun. What in the world are you doing? Why are you taking this class? I think that would be fun. But anyway, it'll go through and ask you questions, and then once you get the answer correct, it'll take you to the next step. that is the guided tutorial. View an example is, hey, show me how to do it. Boom, 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 boom. No questions, just boom, 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 boom. And that's the guided, that's the help me solve this. View an example. Video is for you visual learners, and it will get on there and show you a video, and you will, and I don't know if you can hear that or not, but you can do it on your home computer.
So we'll look at the data set.
And she's a very good teacher. She reminds me of a volleyball coach or basketball coach. I don't know why I've always said that when I see her on videos, but she's a very good person on the videos to watch. And that's for your visual learners, and those of you Espanol, you got Espanol caption in there, dang old Spanish, and that's the videos. And animation, if you want another visual, uses the computer and graphics and auditory. So you get the video, but you don't have a person, you have a computer doing the graphic tutorial. So this is just something that people like. I like them. It doesn't mean that you're going to like them, and you see the little continue button.
There are several different measures of center,
and it does
consider 4 of them.
That.
Mean,
So you've got 4 different learning styles represented there, and it will, help you out. Textbook. This is for you readers. This is for people that like to go to the book when they don't understand something. They like to go to the book. So you click on that, and it will take you to the page as well as the section and show you what the book says about doing this type of problem. And it'll show you that whole page. You can print that out because you are in the ebook. There it is, measures of centers down at the bottom. And you can print that out with your printer key right here, and it'll let you print out up to 6 pages, I believe. So that's how you go to the book. Another learning style. StatCrunch is a spreadsheet. It's kind of a spreadsheet more detailed to the book, and you can go in and put those in. I'm not going to do that. You can do the data. You can do, let's see, stat. Do summary statistics on this column, and where it should give you group select columns. Well, it's not letting me select. Oh, I've got it selected. And hit compute. Oh, you got to. Well, it's supposed to do the whole. Oh, well. I don't know why it's not doing it, but you're supposed to be able to click on the row, the column right here. So I don't know why it's not doing it. Oh, I know why. That's not the. You got to put the numbers in here. So my bad. Let me get one right here. There's one. So we want to do the statistics for the ages in this group. So hit stat, summary statistics for the column, and then pick the age, and then hit compute, and there is the statistics for the ages. The average age is 36. And you didn't even have to look at that data. All you had to do is just use the computer. So this is for you computer people that like to play with spreadsheets, because that's all this is a glorified spreadsheet, and knock yourself out on that. Tech help, I'm not going to go into these. These are more of having to deal with the actual publisher of Pearson that puts out the book, as well as Course Compass, My Math Lab, and mylabsplus. It's all the same thing. Now, these 2 buttons are very important. Now, the print button is important for you. There are some students that like to do paper and pencil homework, and that's fine. What you do is you hit the print button. Oops, I forgot my pen. Hit the print button, and it will take you to this window. Now, very rarely do you need to print this single question, unless you're going to give it to me at the beginning of the class, and then I just write it down on the board. But you don't have to even do that, because you got to ask my instructor, and that we'll talk about that, because that's the most important button. Print this homework assignment. you print that homework assignment, it'll print all of those questions in a format like paper and pencil, like homework. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it'll give you the directions, and it'll give you a place to write in the answer. If you do this, if you do the conventional route, there's 2 or 3 things you need to remember. 1, do not go back into that homework until you're ready to type in the answers. Don't go in and play with it. Don't go in and hit Ask My Instructor. Don't do any of that, because if you do, it might regenerate the numbers, and then the answer that you put in that you did by paper and pencil may not match these numbers. It may not, the problem may have changed if you go in there and start clicking on stuff. So make sure that if you print out the whole homework and you want to do it by paper and pencil, don't go back into that homework until you're ready to type in the answers. And that's how you get credit for doing paper and pencil homework, is to go in, once you've done it, go in and type in the answers. And then grade your homework and go back and do the ones that you haven't done or that you didn't do correctly. The second thing that you need to remember is some people do this in a class setting and in a lecture. Now I know that doesn't apply to this class, but because you're online. But some people print this out and then they will write notes. Now you're going to be able to see my notes because I'm going to give them to you every day when I teach my 120 or whatever. I'm going to try to do that. 102 I'll be able to do that, but the 120 I'm not teaching the 120, so I will do it on a as needs basis. But I will do a presentation, and during the presentation I may do a problem out of the book or out of the mylabsplus, and you will find that problem in your homework that you printed out, and you'll do my problem that I'm doing on the board out beside that one. Therefore, when you work on your homework problem, you will already have that one, an example of that one by the side of it. So that's another way to use the homework in the paper and pencil fashion printed out. So the 2 things you need to remember: if you do the print out and do it by paper and pencil, do not go back into that section until you're ready to type in the answers. And 2, if you print it out, you can also use it with your note taking to help fill in the gaps if you come to a problem that is very difficult. And that's how you print it out. Same way with your book. Hit the textbook. If you want to go to the ebook, and I'll show you that in just a second, you can go through here to the textbook, or you can go through the ebook on the previous page. I'll show you that. And print out sections of your book instead of bringing the book to class every day if you're in a lecture setting. This button right here is Hubert's button. This button is the one that I like to use for my students, because my students, if it wasn't for this button, I wouldn't be able to ascertain where y'all are as far as understanding the material. This button right here, I use to gauge how well
Priority 1 message coming in on secure channel.
If I get a bunch, let's say we go over 5.5 in class, or I get a bunch of questions from y'all on 5.5 through the online class, then I know that a lot of people are having problems with 5.5. So if it's a 120 class and I don't teach that class through the semester, I will make maybe a video going over 5.5 material and send it to the 120 class. If it's a 102 class, then I will spend that time in 102 going over 5.5. I'll make a video and I'll send it to the 102 class online. So this is very important for you to understand that this is a gauge for me. If I get a lot of these, then that means I need to cover it better, or I need to cover it more. Maybe I didn't cover it enough in the last class, or maybe there is a certain percentage of the online class that doesn't understand it, and I need to send a video to that class. So use this. This is your, I don't know what you call it, this is your way of telling me, hey Hubert, I need you to spend some time on this. If you don't use it, then I'm going to assume that you know it and everything's hunky-dory and I don't have to make a video, which I don't mind doing, but I will if you send me enough questions. Some of you may want to, now the 120 class, I do not have a class, so I'm not going to be sending videos to you every day, like the 102 class. But the 120 class, if you send me this problem, then chances are I will do a video, I will post it, and I will send it to the class with an email, the link to the YouTube account. My YouTube account is Hubert McClure, and you click on it, and you'll see videos in the past, and you'll see my videos that I'm making right now, and videos that I'm going to make when I get these. So, and I will also post on my Hubert's Mathematics page on Facebook. So there's two avenues to get to these videos that I will make. But the 120 class, you send me a question, I'll do it on video, I'll send it back to you with a link, and send it to the whole class, so that way the whole class benefits. I will do that with 102 also, the online class as well as the, and I'll do it for the 155 class. You know, all my classes, that's the way I do it. That's why the videos are on there. The videos that are on there now from YouTube and Facebook, they are on there because people ask me to do a video and send it to them like over the weekend or whatever the case may be. And when I send it to one student, I will send it to all the students. Or I'll send a link and say, here's a video I just posted on number 12 on section 5.8 Math 120. Okay? So please, 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 please use that button. Because if you don't, I'm just going to assume that you know the material. And that's for my lecture class as well as my online classes, both. Okay, so let's go to the next page. The next thing that I want to cover. And that is, go back to, and that's how do you do the homework. Here is your quizzes and tests. Now, there's nothing there. Well, there's nothing there, Hubert, because, there's nothing there, class, because I haven't loaded anything. Well, what's all these things down here? These are generic tests that come whether the teacher uses this or not. These are written by the book people, the publisher. They're there for teachers that don't want to do anything but let the students play around with this, or independent study where students work on their own and they take these tests, and then the teacher looks at all those test grades, averages them together, and then that's what the student makes in their independent study or lab. These are generic. Mine will show up here, and they'll say Hubert's Unit 1 test, Hubert's Unit 5 test, Hubert's Calculus Unit 1 test, whatever the case may be. Mine will show up between this bar and between this yellow bar. It'll show up in here. And you'll be seeing that the first couple of weeks of this class. You'll be seeing it in 102. You'll see it probably around the end of the month. For the 150 of it, for the 120 class, you'll see it probably around the first or second of the month, because you have that extra half a week per unit. And that's where you find the test. They'll be in here. Study plan. Here's the ebook. Gradebook. Gradebook has to do with your grades. I love it when students call me at the end of the semester or email me at the end of the semester and say, what's my grade? I don't know. And I say that with all sincerity. I don't know what your grade is. I don't sit there and try to figure out what your grade is. Course Compass does that. I'm sorry. mylabsplus does that. mylabsplus, everything you do is calculated at 60, 20, and 20. We talked about that in the last video. 60% is unit test, 20% is homework, and 20% is final exam. So that's where you keep up with your grade. Make sure you hit overall grade. Do not hit homework grade, because that'll just give you your homework grade. Overall grade gives you your grade for the semester. StatCrunch is your glorified spreadsheet. That's for you to play with or use for homework problems, but I don't use it very much. Ebook. That's how you print your book online. hit the ebook and go to whatever chapter and section you want. And we go over 3.2 and this multimedia e-text. And there is how you print out your book. And right up here, when this comes up, you'll see a print button right there. And then it'll ask you to print. And you can print up to 6 pages. So if the chapter and the homework in the book is 9 pages, you'll have to print 6 pages, and then you'll have to go to that 6th page, which will be page 87, or 86, or 87, and then print the next 3 pages. So that's 6 pages, 81 through 86. Then go to 86 or 87 and print the next 2 pages or the next 3 pages until you get to the end of the chapter, and then you have the whole section of 3 point whatever. You have that 3.2. You have that whole section. Then do 3.3, 3.4, and you've got all of chapter 3 in your notebook. So that's a way you can do it and not bring it to class, not bring your whole book. And that's the gist of Course Compass, mylabsplus, mymathlab, whichever one you want to call it. And the reason they're called 3 or 4 different things is because Course Compass is the engine, basically, that runs the whole thing. mylabsplus is when school uses it in a department. They don't call it Course Compass, they call it mylabsplus, meaning that it's mymathlab or Course Compass, but it's also, you as a student don't have to register, don't have to put the access code in, don't have to do all that, because the school does that for you. That's the plus. The school
Priority
enrolls
1
you
message
in the
coming in
course,
unsecured
and all
channel.
you have to do is just click and get into the course. mymathlab, same as Course Compass. mymathlab comes with the book. You have to type in an access code, then you have to type in a course ID. It's all in the enrollment. If the school does it for you, it's called mylabsplus. If the school doesn't enroll you, it's called mymathlab, and that's the difference. Course Compass runs both of them. Course Compass is kind of like the engine that runs both mymathlab and mylabsplus. I don't think there's anything else I need to cover, but the main highlights: 1, make sure you use Mozilla Firefox. Make sure you go to Blackboard. Make sure you have got an access code through or course ID, whichever they're asking for. Comes with your book, and it comes with your. You get it online. Now, if you had a course last semester and didn't do too well in it, or had to withdraw, and the book is not changed, then chances are you will not need that access code to get into because you've already paid for it. And you can email Dr. Marshall or Dr. Gabati to verify that, but I believe that is still the case. If you took Math 102 last semester and you withdrew because you had a car wreck or something happened or you failed because of this or that, and the book is not changed, we haven't changed books, then chances are you can go in and continue where you left off, but it'll be in another course. I don't know if that's the same. I don't know if that's still true or not, but they will verify that through the administrators, Dr. Gabati and Dr. Marshall. And please use the button, Ask My Instructor. That will help you more than you know, because I don't mind making these videos. I have this camera in here, and I have it in my office, and I will use it if I'm asked to use it. And I will try to do as much as I can, but the 102 online, you had it easy because I'm just going to videotape my 102 class and then send you the videos, so y'all have the chance of doing that. And when I do 120 next semester, I will videotape it for future 120 classes. And when I teach 103, I will do that also. So this is something new that I'm doing. I'm starting this semester, and I really do hope these videos help. The next videos that you will see from me will probably be math-oriented, starting the material, and that will be Monday. Hope y'all have a good day.